And our money lead, bad news every day at the pump. Gas prices continue to reach new highs in the U.S., today averaging $4.33 a gallon, according to AAA. And while many factors are at play, COVID, inflation, now the war in Ukraine, CNN's Gabe Cohen takes a closer look now at how the world's largest oil companies are making record profits while many Americans are struggling to afford the costs of daily life.
Carissa Warren's gas tank has been nearly empty for 2 weeks. With record prices, she's only adding enough fuel to get to and from her job and her daughter's daycare.
Because if we were to fill our tanks, we wouldn't have enough cash for the rest of the week to cover the rest of our bills for that week.
And that squeeze is getting tighter after President Biden banned Russian oil exports. Gas could now cost families an extra $1,300 a year.
We like to be able to splurge from time to time, and it's just not an option anymore. We're considering not even doing a birthday party for our daughter this year because can't afford to.
Economists say price hikes are the expected result of shrinking oil supply and surging demand. But while that squeezes people like Carissa, oil companies are making record profits. A watchdog report found last year, as gas prices surged, 24 of the world's largest oil companies made $127 billion in profits.
Americans were paying more at the pump, and executives were getting richer by the day.
When your ability to sell your product is more than double what your costs are to produce oil, you're going to experience massive profits. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now.
Democratic senators are now proposing a windfall profits tax for the oil industry, which would compare their new profit to the years before COVID and tax half of that excess revenue.
Prices have gone through the roof because of pricing.
Morning, folks.
And while President Biden has vowed to investigate price gouging by oil and gas companies,
there's no time for profiteering or price gouging.
Oil and gas producers are calling on Biden to relax regulations to make it easier for them to ramp up production, which crashed in 2020 because of the pandemic. But some economists claim some oil producers are strategically stalling to keep gas prices high. They're currently sitting on more than 9,000 unused drilling permits for U.S. land.
So the suggestion that we are not allowing companies to drill is inaccurate.
The U.S. Energy Information Agency projects U.S. crude oil production will reach a record high, but not until next year.
And that's even more frightening because we don't know when it's going to stop.
For hardworking families like Carissa's, little trips are now draining, like visiting her mother, who's about to have surgery.
That's $80 out of my food budget now.
And it doesn't sit well that corporate pockets are getting deeper as her wallet takes a hit.
It's just not fair.
And Jake, today I heard from the American Petroleum Institute, which represents the oil industry, and they again stress that market forces, not individual companies, control these prices. But look, to so many leaders and activists and everyday Americans, it really boils down to a simple question of whether or not oil companies should be able to make these sort of excess profits as a result of the war in Ukraine, as President Biden is telling Americans they need to be ready to make sacrifices and to do their part, which for millions of people right now means paying these higher prices potentially for many more months. Jake?
Gabe Cohen, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Millions of innocent Ukrainians